And I do.
You do?
Let it go and get up. What kind? Like the kind I got to dip in ink? You ever use those? You ever use like an inky?
Like we did
in the old days, it wasn't so long
No, I've never
ago.
heard
The band that wants to socialize, but they have to do the show. And I wish you...
They combine the banter.
Are you going out tonight? What are you guys doing now? Sign your pen
Do you think you'd be good at banter? I mean, I know we're comics, but banter's different.
It's tough. It's
Banter,
tough.
between song banter.
Because you're cold.
Because you've seen Steve Martin do a concert, right?
Yeah.
And he...
Well, no, I know.
Like, he's gotten back
Heard
into
it, that's
comedy, and obviously with the Martin Short thing, it is live comedy.
Yeah.
Like,
I've seen that.
yeah. Oh, you saw that.
I saw the Netflix of it. I didn't see it live.
I saw him like 7-8 years ago, maybe even longer, at the Hollywood Bowl doing a concert.
Banjo?
Yes.
Yeah.
But his banter in between is still Steve Martin doing comedy.
Crushing.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Yeah, that's a gift. Because you're like, oh, man, we're getting Steve Martin, and then we're getting these badass, folk music songs.
It was wonderful. But you're the person, you don't remember this. This was probably 2013.
Okay.
We were backstage at UCB.
Okay.
And I asked you if you had read Born Standing Up.
Yeah.
And you go, I listened to it.
Yeah.
And I go, what? And you're like, he does the bits.
Yeah.
It's him.
Yeah.
He's reading it, but you're hearing him do the bits again.
I think
that's why I listened to it.
I think I had the same experience as someone else because I read it because I loved it.
Yeah, me too.
And then someone told me that, and then I was like, oh. So I was so I don't know who the
You're
originator is.
the relay race?
I was just a middleman there.
Hey, one other thing.
But how great though.
Oh my God. I sent you a TikTok of people listening to Tool for the first time. Did you watch it?
I loved it.
What's that song? Why won't you play that?
That's the pot.
Wait, hold on. What?
Which I think Maynard says is the perfect song for someone being introduced to Tool. That's what they should hear.
Can I
the
ask
song
you
is called The
question?
Pot.
I'm not cool. Okay.
You're cool.
Do you think of all our pennies and pallers, there are more people who are familiar with and or like Tool, or is there more people like me who know it's a band and don't hate it in any way, but aren't?
I start crying. I'm not offended at all about it.
But aren't like don't listen to it or don't. It doesn't. Not for lack of artistic ability, it just doesn't hold a place in their life.
I would say there is a low percentage of our listeners who listen to Tool. And I only say that.
Huge. And you've made me, dude, I feel shitty for saying this.
I know.
You've made me realize how big Tool, and you and I and Adam hung out once, right?
But I think that's what
or maybe
it takes.
He came to a show. I don't know. And like all my friends from home, like lost it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't know you. And they were like, it's fucking Tool, Daniel.
I know.
And I'm like, I didn't know.
I know.
Which makes me feel shitty because I love
on
Adam.
This tour,
and everything you showed me, I'm like, this is art music.
On this tour that they're currently on, When Is What? So again,
sure.
the Bengals just started the first season, the first week of the Super Bowl.
They're still in that bit.
It's just because I think I got so mad that we haven't been doing a joke like that the whole time. Like, oh, the Lakers won. Oh, well, I hope they win. I mean, this is just game one of 90.
Right.
But you and I will go to a show.
I would love to go.
Because I know for a fact, artistically, you would go, fuck. But I also know that musically, I think people talk about Tool, and I think people who don't know, their instinct is to go, oh, well, it's heavy metal.
All I remember is the music video.
Oh, they're dark.
The one that blew
dark.
the big one that blew up with the little guy going through the stuff.
Adam makes them, and what is so amazing about it is that it's like...
Adam makes the videos?
Adam does the music videos. Adam used to work in special effects. He worked on Jurassic Park. He worked on Terminator 2.
Whoa.
He did makeup. He did.
What
he built.
This is
built
how you
like
sell
the Raptor.
me this guy.
He built.
Don't sell me with his little guitar. Sell me with his
little guitar.
His
well, he's not playing a
music.
ukulele.
Oh, he could shred a uke. He could shred a uke. That's probably a real song, right? That you were just doing.
Yeah, it is. But I think people they've seen those videos. They've maybe seen YouTube videos of the band. They hear the music, and I think they just go, "Oh, this is dark and it's angry and it's scary." But I don't think that's truly
What's the pot?
It's off of 10,000 Days. It's great. It's a great song. That's the song that's in that video.
That felt like a jam.
It's great. It's awesome. That song has
Look,
amazing
if you're
moments.
Penny or Paller, and you're like me, and you're like, I love Rory's love of things, and I love Dan's cabin. I get it. We're infectious. Listen to this song of Tool, because I like the stuff you showed me after we did mushrooms and went floated down the river.
Yeah.
That was great. It was also very good for that time.
Yeah.
But this song was a jam.
Yeah.
That's an old song?
2006.
Okay. What's the song with
which is 2 albums ago. Which is like, oh,
what's
Jesus.
the song with the video? And the little guy.
There's a lot. There's a lot of different
So
ones.
I don't know, man.
There's a lot.
I don't know.
But I could show you all that stuff.
Okay.
But to me, it's like, I listen to the lyrics and I listen to the music and I just connect with it. And if someone goes, I've tried and I just don't get it,
that's fine.
I get that person. But when someone goes, it's not for me, it's too heavy, I'm like, that person usually hasn't listened to it and tried. Because I have converted some friends. I have specifically my friend Andrew Shawcross from high school. I don't think he was that big into Tool. And he got me into Fish. He was more jam band. He could play guitar. He was fucking amazing. Very outdoorsy guy. That was his vibe.
Yeah.
Then when we did the Tool Comedians Following Tool tour,
Yeah.
we went to Phoenix. He lives in Flagstaff. And so he came and hung out and I got him a ticket and we went to their show.
He experienced it.
And he went to the live show. And then he messaged me how obsessed he had become with them afterwards. He was like, I'm playing at home. The kids are dancing to it. I'm into it. I can't believe it. And he's like, he knows music. He really studied guitar. So he has a different appreciation for what they're doing. And I think anyone who's ever played any instrument, listening to them, you have to go like, oh, they are doing some incredible stuff. And there's people who rip them apart who just think it's a joke and they don't
like
get
those
it.
people, right?
But that's everybody.
But I don't
Every
like those
single person who's ever done anything. If 100% of the people liked you, you're up to something.
That's my
you're
thing.
up to something.
That's my thing. I don't want to be
It's
for
something
everybody.
weird. There's something
I don't
weird.
mind being for most people. I don't mind being for good people. I don't mind being for nice people.
Yeah.
But I have no interest in being for everybody.
That's what I tell people about stand-up shows. Like when a comic tells a joke and the whole room laughs, great.
Great.
But if you go, oh, the whole room didn't laugh, only a percentage laughed. I don't know why people's perception is that every joke, the comic is trying to get the whole room. And I think
some are.
But when you do tell a joke and you get the whole room, it's awesome.
Right.
But you know what is also fun is when
What?
you tell a joke and 5 people don't just laugh, they fucking are crying laughing.
Because you hit them.
That is different than 300 people laughing. Now, if I was at a point where 300 people were crying laughing, and that I've been in that position.
Sure.
Those are
Brag.
so
Big
special.
brag.
Those are
Brag.
so special. Like, well, the reality is it's maybe twice. But those moments are so special.
Sure.
Because you're like, oh, shit. But even on a show like that, I still said something that got it back to 5 people going, we're still with you. And I'm like, the numbers are kind of always the same. But, I've told jokes where over here kind of laughs and then over here laughs. It's like the jokes aren't for everybody, at least for me. And that's what music is like. It's like, it's not for everybody. But when people go, fuck this, like, what are you talking about?
It's not. I don't like that.
We're going to go
like
see
not
Tool.
liking things.
We're going to go see
I'm
Tool.
in. I love Adam.
I know you're in.
It's
We're going to
interesting.
go.
My whole context for him is outside of loving the music.
Yeah.
How much I like hanging out with him and getting to know him.
Yeah, and honestly, if you listeners, if we do have listeners who do enjoy Tool, don't be afraid to follow Adam Jones on Instagram and just constantly leave comments.
Just for the comic books
constantly
alone.
leave comments about how he should be a guest on Ben Pals and just
Why
see
not?
if it gets to him.
Yeah,
And he
let's bully our friend.
we're gonna have to. There was a chance we almost had him to be a guest on this show, but make no mistake, I will not stop working at trying to get Adam Jones on this podcast. So help us out. But in the meantime, let's go to the letters.
I got it.
I got mine.
Stop
And that's
it.
how you know it's real, people.
Remember when you used to do that with your mouth?
No, I don't have to anymore now that we have these videos. Now that we have these videos, I don't have to do it. Here we go.
Okay,
And
ready?
this one's fun. This is from OG. This is OG Powler Town. Hey, pals.
Hey.
Well, we did it.
What?
My person and I, along with my mom and stepmom, have purchased a big space of land, almost 50 acres, just outside of Asheville, North Carolina. We're doing it. We're working towards building an off-grid, sustainable homestead, and I couldn't be more jazzed about it. That being said, there's so much preparation, organization, and work to start now in order for us to step into the reality of this being our home, and I am at the same time overwhelmed and filled with optimistic vision. Luckily, my person is particularly talented in construction and planning, and this has been extremely comforting. The land itself is amazing. It has streams that originate on it, hills, pasture areas, tons of trees, and plenty of space for not only our family, but for friends who want to try living this dream with us. We have begun to plan the layout, delegate jobs, and really just work on manifesting this kick-ass future for us. The plan is to have things pretty up and running within the next 4 years so that when I'm finished with my PhD, we can begin our transition out of the systems that bind us and into the space that will hold us for the future. Because I love you both so very much, and all my pennies and pals out there, I would love to get some thoughts on what kinds of things you might dream of. Home styles, foods, animals, art, music, plants, all of it. If you are in our position, I also extend an invite to you both and your fams, and I will be taking her up on this, as well as any particularly cool pals who may be looking for something similar in their lives. Come on down. We'll save a little spot for you. Love and hugs. Kate Barnes. OG.
Weekend of Tuxes, Kate Barnes.
Weekend of Tuxes, year 1, right?
Has to be.
All the way back. All the way back.
Okay. Rory, you want to do this?
I got to say, just reading this information.
Got you riled up?
I'm jazzed about a thing that I'm not even getting. You know what I mean? Because it feels so good. It's almost like, in my mind, I've thought about a thing, and to hear someone doing a thing, you go, that's because these things are reality.
I think if you did this, we'd lose you.
You would.
No, I don't know if you'd keep doing stand-up.
The only way that this would continue is if you bought a plot with me and we had a studio on the land, and we rode
the show. You're 100%.
And Kate, take note of this. And the studio, we put in a particular spot so that when we went there, you and I both had to take a Mario Kart style go-kart track all the way up to the studio. So when it was like, I got to go to work, babe, it's like, oh, you mean in the most fun way possible? I'm like, yeah, Daniel says he's leaving in 2 minutes, so I got to leave in 2 minutes because I'm going to hit him off at the pass and we're going to race up the thing. That's that. So Kate, take that idea if you want to.
But would you keep
She's like, Kate, start a podcast and do that.
Would you keep doing stand-up? You'd be so off grid.
I think that's fine. I think going off grid is great, but I think you and I both have this because we did come from. You definitely came from a town.
Yeah.
Where a township, if we're honest, and I really came from a city. As small as it is, it's still a city. So there's that vibe of it, but I think it's still small enough to where you and I realize we are city guys, but there's also a heavy percentage that's like, get in the woods and get away from everybody. But I don't think extremes of both are healthy for us. Like getting off the grid, love it. But then I got to dip my toes into going away for 3 days to do stand up in wherever the fuck. And then I want to get off the grid again.
For sure.
Because I want both. I love the city. I love city life.
I do too.
But also I want to wake up and not have to hear anything. Yeah. I want to be able to drive to the grocery store and it's not traffic. Even if you say, what's a great distance because you're out in the woods, I go, I'll take a great long drive.
It's leisurely.
Than a non-moving drive, you know?
Yeah.
Leisurely, yes. But I'm jealous of this.
You want to do it?
I'd love to do it. Especially outside of Asheville. Asheville is such a... You've performed there.
No.
You would love Asheville. Asheville's awesome.
I think Raleigh's the only place in North Carolina I've done.
You haven't done Wilmington? Mm-mm. Do you want me to start booking you?
Sure.
I take 80%.
I don't care.
All right. But I also don't really negotiate a high rate.
It's $20.
You'll make 20 and I make 100. You're going to work for $100. Your overhead is going to be way over that. It's going to take you 500 to get there.
We just went 80-20 on that.
80-20. Not even on purpose.
If I'm honest. That's why I realized it after the fact. Okay, here's my thing, though. How far off the grid are we talking?
If she's just outside of Asheville, North Carolina, she's not like off.
No, but I mean on the property themselves. Like, it's how do you get running water? Are we doing everything solar? You're growing everything yourself?
There for sure.
Are you killing your own chickens?
The fact that she's talking about off-grid sustainable, I think a lot of that is for sure the case. I think solar power, that's just a smart way to go anyways.
Well,
and then also, there obviously is going to be plumbing, but I bet you that, if we know Kate the way we think we do.
You have a septic and a well, right?
Yeah, and I'm sure she'll do it in the way that in current times is the most environmentally
100%
sound way to do it. And also Asheville is the city to help you do all those things. Asheville has that vibe. They're like that. They're like, yeah, no, we think these are the pipes that are the best for this. Yeah, solar power is going to be the best for this. You should do that. Like Asheville's vibe is very much like, the products that she's going to need to purchase already come from a place of people going, yeah, we're thinking about the next 50 years.
Oh, nice.
Not that the entire state of North Carolina is doing that. But
Can I ask you another question?
This gets me so excited.
When she says we'll save a little spot for you, she means to visit, or you could go move down there.
I bet you, and here's my guess, because I had a buddy, Johnny, who was going to buy 100 acres
woods
in North Carolina and try to divvy up 25-acre plots to get 4 families. It'd be like, hey, it's 4 friends and families, and this is our space.
Right.
And I was like, I was like, oh yeah, how much does that cost? And I think I could be way wrong, but I think it was very affordable in terms of splitting it up. I think it might have been like $200,000 for 100 acres.
Wow.
So if you're like, oh, you get this acres, now you're talking about like, well, you got to build a house and all this stuff. But to have 25 acres, I mean, this is 50. To have, I don't know if you've ever been able to stand on a property where someone goes, this property is an acre.
Yeah. And
you can see it all the way around because it's fenced. I've only done that in Joshua Tree. Right. My buddy has an acre and a half and it's fenced and there's no trees. Right. So standing there, I was like, oh, I've never actually seen what that actually looks like. Yeah. So when someone's like, I have 300 acres, I'm now like, whoa. That is so much land that it's crazy. Like his acre and a half, I was like, you could build another house in this corner on this acre and a half, and still have a lot of space between those two homes. Yeah, this gets me pretty excited. Here's what I ask you: you're going to do the house. First off, what style of house? You're going to live in this house. It's not a vacation home.
Barn.
What style? You're gonna do a barn style
big
house.
Open, like almost like a hangar style. I want a big open space.
Open space.
Yeah.
Then
elevated rooms, open space down.
And that's the home. What is when you're gonna build a second building that's like there's so much space that it's almost like this is for you.
Okay.
It's not even for your significant other. This is like man cave, but it's a whole building.
Yeah.
Because you have the place.
Right.
What is that? What are you doing in there primarily? What is that space for you?
I feel like I need to work in a small space.
No, that's not weird at all.
Almost like even if I had like a large space and I could do like a movie room.
Yeah.
And like I could do like a kitchen.
Yeah.
The place where I was going to work, I would like our studio right now is probably about as big as I would want if I was going to have my own little space.
Yeah.
I feel like it has to be tight.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie.
That's your vibe. Yeah.
And I think I get it from reading On Writing. The Stephen King book On Writing.
Oh, yeah.
And he talks about your space and like how you should
I thought the title was Reading on Writing.
He said write with the door closed and
writing
edit
about
with
reading.
The door open.
Yeah.
But when he first made it, he bought himself this huge, gorgeous desk.
Yeah.
And he always found himself like in this smaller
with his like typewriter or computer.
Writing. And he's like, it kind of needs to be.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm romanticizing that and then like being like, yeah, me too, Stephen King.
Yeah.
But I do like it intimate.
Yeah.
I want to work. I want to toil away.
Yeah.
Intimately.
Yeah. Well, you might just need a space in the house.
Also my
you don't
bio.
even need a second building.
Huh?
Wait, what is it? Toil away intimately?
Yeah.
I just need a space to toil. A space to toil
I
by Daniel Van Kirk.
I really would love to have a theater room.
Yeah.
But even when I think about that, you know what I miss?
What?
The tops of other people's heads in front of me. I'm not joking.
I mean, look, you have the space. You're building the home. You can make it so it's wildly inconvenient to have someone sit in front of you if that's what you want.
I'm going to ask you a goddamn question. I'll kick your foot. Do you honestly think that the people who fucking torrented or bootlegged or just even by themselves eventually watched Endgame had as much fun as the people who saw it in a full theater, even close?
Oh, no.
And forget the word fun. Forget the word fun. Do you think they even had even anywhere close to the same cinematic impact?
No. It's impossible to.
I could get emotional right now talking about how much I love that. It doesn't even have to be a big Marvel movie.
Right.
Pacific Rim. It
Yeah.
happened to me at the ArcLight. R.I.P.
Are all the people the vibe?
Yes.
Can I tell you?
Dramatic movies, man. Like he's a bit problematic, but not a bit. He is problematic. But Braveheart, like if you saw Braveheart in the theater,
Sure.
That's the first movie I ever just sat there and watched.
Well, that's why you don't want theaters to go away.
I was like,
that's why you hope theaters are able to maintain, and there is showing some like hope, and you're hoping
and
that
I think there
you're
will
hoping
be,
it
I
doesn't
think there'll
also
be,
have to just be big budget studio films.
Right.
You're like, keep theaters alive, like the Los Feliz 3 is like such a great example of like
Tarantino, thankfully.
Yeah.
Or did he buy the Vista?
Vista. But I mean, the Vista is an amazing experience.
Yeah,
but I will say this: best movie that I ever saw. 2 best movies I ever saw. Giant crowd.
Yeah.
And one of them is timely. I'm going to give the second one, the second place finish first.
Okay.
The Day After Tomorrow. I saw it in D.C. at a place that's basically the Vista where it's just one screen.
Yeah.
Very old place.
Yeah.
Upper deck.
Nice.
Lower deck. Old school.
Yeah.
Tons of people. Probably 2 times the size of the Vista, maybe.
Yeah.
Watching that movie in D.C. where all of the like decisions they made about what was affecting the climate, like people were like laughing at some of the lines in this like
I'm pretty sure
movie.
that's the Gyllenhaal, right?
Yeah.
He runs from cold.
Yeah.
He runs from cold.
Yeah. He goes, it's Philadelphia. And he's like, I got to get to New York. And he's like, I'm going to walk it. And everyone's just like, what the fuck are you talking? That is not close at all.
I know.
But Dennis Quaid and isn't that? But the best movie experience I ever had, and it's timely, was the first Jackass movie. When in college, sat in my seat.
100%.
Everybody had watched Jackass,
This
so
is
we
why I
all
love
knew
you.
what we were getting.
The next one's about to come out, and I am going to see that.
Yes.
I'll triple mask,
In a
vaccine
theater
only, whatever. If I can, I want to
For
see
sure.
that
I was in a
opening
theater
weekend.
with, let's say it was 300 people. It was sold out. It was shoulder to shoulder in your seat, and I'm with 5 of my college buddies. And to have 300 people all at the same time go, oh, and laughing and going, no, don't do, oh, fucking gross. All the reactions.
It's the best.
At the exact same time,
that's
I left
that's my
going,
drug.
that is the most fun I've ever had at a theater. It was like we were watching a TV show together. No one was there going, hey, let's all be quiet. Some people were like saying stuff back at the screen, and you're like, more of that. This is what if you want to yell something at the screen, it makes sense right now. When they said they were doing another Jackass movie, every time a new movie comes out, just like the 4th one, right?
I think so, yeah. Third.
Every time one of them comes out, I always think back and I'm like, that was the most fun I ever had at a movie theater, was watching the Jackass movie.
Talladega Nights came out on my birthday. I went that night to go see
Humble brag.
I went that night I asked him to do it.
It's also like hours before my birthday. I'm like, I've had movies come out on my birthday.
I went and saw it. The scene where they're trying to get the knife out of Will Ferrell's leg,
of course,
might as well have been a Bernie Mac set.
Yeah.
The theater. I mean, when Michael Clark Duncan's like, let me get another knife to get that knife out, I couldn't handle that. But I'm laughing with all these people together at this shared. Yeah. So as much as dude, I'm obsessed with Alone, right?
Yeah.
I kind of like feel this pull to really want to go out and be by myself in the wilderness for a while, even if it's for 4 days. I don't care. Plus, 2 is probably going to be enough.
The 2 you're gonna go. I'm actually good.
Right.
Get me to the city.
But
right
you're going to
now.
stay 2 nights. Well, I was one night.
Get
I
me
left
to
the
an
next day.
overcrowded hotel as fast as possible.
So like I love that, but I think there are some things like I would want. So I was like, man, I'd really love a theater room, but I know I would miss watching. Like, I still haven't watched The Matrix, the new one.
Yeah.
I have the ability. I have a very nice big TV.
Yeah.
But I saw the first one 8 times in the theater. It's a movie I've seen most in the theater.
Yeah.
And I kind of can't bring myself to watch it on my TV because it makes me sad that I didn't get to do it in a crowded theater.
Yeah.
So, but to answer your question, I would have a media room space. That would be a big thing to me that I would really, really love and enjoy.
Yeah.
But there'd be elements to it that I'd
it's you don't have to put it. You think about the like theater room. Like you could also just do some badass couches or recliners and really make it like, going to Daniel's to watch the Super Bowl is fucking epic because it's like this big screen. The food is over here. Like, you know,
right.
you want a drink, you go to the back. There's draft
I feel like your
beer.
answer is going to be way better than mine.
Mine is currently based
I
in
know
my
what it's gonna
obsession
be.
of
Why did I
art,
even ask?
painting
Yes.
and stuff right now. So me to be like,
Dude, can you
Just
imagine
give
if
me
you just had a
slab of
wall of
concrete.
every single thing you need?
That's
you
what I
pull
want.
out Another
That's what I want.
canvas. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to grab
That's
this
what I want.
today.
I mean, the garage.
And then you get like a big sheet thing that you can pull down of tarp,
Yeah.
so that you're never worried about the floor, unless for you that's the
that makes
character
it
and you
more
don't
fun.
care.
Makes it more
Yeah,
fun.
right, yeah.
Let the floor get fucking destroyed. Just a slab of concrete. That's what I learned in the garage. Like, I have everything kind of organized, but I was doing something the other day, and I would just open up a tube, and I was like putting it straight on the canvas, and I'd like do something with it, and I was just throwing it down, and I grab another one, and I looked down, and I had like 10 open like caps everywhere and things. And I told Jordan, I was like, this is the messiest I've ever been. And I was like, and I kind of like it, because then I'm looking down, I'm like, where's the white? Give me the white. And I was like just going, and I wasn't like thinking.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, you gotta the space. You know, it's not like you want it super clean. At least for me, like that, the space that I'm in, it's only occurred to me, and maybe I said this before. I've liked painting, but it wasn't until we cleaned out the garage and I realized, oh, the space really matters for the obsession to want to go and do it. Like, I've been painting, you know, since my dad passed away and I decided to do paintings for my siblings, I was doing it in my house. So I was like being super careful. It's like, well, this is the kitchen counter or the kitchen table, or this is the floor or the carpet.
Not the way I work.
So you're doing it in this way where you're like, you don't feel this freedom.
Flowing.
Yes. And because of it, you're like, and then I got to clean up, I got to make sure and all this stuff, but it's not a space to actually work in.
Right.
And then when we cleaned out the garage, the light bulb went off. I was like, oh, I would actually really commit to some kind of studio space for this. And it's funny that when Jordan and I were dating, I was like, I've said this forever ago. I was like, all I know is whatever house we have, I want to have one room where we can legit just throw paint at the walls and stuff, and we have all these canvases and anything you need, and it's like, go in there to just do whatever you want to do, and if it gets all over the walls and the floor, it's fine. That's what that room is for. Like, you just have concrete and whatever, and you destroy it, but it's the art room. It's so funny that I have talked about wanting a space like that and then never explored it or tried to get it until we cleaned out the garage. And I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. This isn't fully there, but what I did just describe to you, that is what I would want on the property. I would just want to have a go-kart that's electric go-kart that I drive around. But here's what I would do. The entrance to get to it, if I had 50 acres, I would love it if I could put what I'm talking about on the other side of a hill so that I could press a button and go into something similar like a bat cave and then come out on the other side and go into and go into my studio and be like, this is where I paint, but I drive. I mean, even my go-kart, I would design it look like a Batmobile. Yeah.
Do you know what else I would really like?
I would just press a button and like the side of the hill would open. I'd go through a tunnel that we had put in and I'd go back to my house. Oh, that would be the best.
Do you know what else I would really like? Is a pond or like a small lake.
Yeah.
But really deep with a high rope swing.
Yeah.
And a high jumping or diving platform.
Yeah.
Because to be able
to
be able to have whenever you want the freedom of just being in the air and falling, to me, I think it's why people like get addicted to those sorts of things.
Yes.
Because you have no control.
Yes.
And to be able to like go out and like do that whenever I want, I think like I literally think I would have days where I was like, I think I just need to go jump off
I think I just got to
the
go
diving
jump
platform for a while.
Yeah.
And just kind of jump.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't that just feel
or
great?
even just one time and you have this float that you can get on, but it's kind of in the water and kind of above the water where you get both.
Well, we can do that at the cabin.
I love that we're not just talking about at least me. I love that we're not just talking about like having the acreage and figuring out what to do with it. We're like, but then also I have $80 million to put towards.
Well, if we're going to imagine.
I almost said, yeah, well, you've got the platform, but also you have to have a tiki bar and there's an all-time bartender that's always at the tiki bar.
100%.
So once you jump in and you get out, you're like, hey, what's up? You can give me another, what's the thing you made yesterday?
When people have the pool but can't do the poolside bar, why'd you get the pool?
Yeah.
It's like when people get married and don't have an open bar. Yeah. It's like, well, then you didn't have enough money to get married.
And it's like, you know what? You didn't get married to this friendship. You didn't marry. In fact, you divorced to this friendship.
We're legally separated right now. We're going to have to
I'm not lying. I feel that way.
I do too.
Oh, I could give so many notes on weddings and probably have. Probably have.
I love this. I could talk more about this. I hope Kate writes us more.
So
I hope the
jealous.
Patreon, we get letters from her about like the progress, the update.
Kate,
I know it's a while
can you
coming,
give us
but
some pictures for the Patreon that we can post on the site, even if it's just pictures of trees and streams and stuff?
water
just to
would
let
have to be
people-
a factor of my.
I love the streams.
Yeah,
not
remember
just one. Numerous
again,
streams.
the Airbnb.
50 acres.
We had that little stream going by our Airbnb in.
Oh yes, I
And
love
where
it.
were we?
Petaluma.
We know, but we were north.
We're a little north of it, but we were there to solve that crime. Kate, you know us. We love you. We wish you well. Sincerely, your pen pals, Rory Scovel
and Daniel Van Kirk. And
Boomtown.
Oh,
We're back. Part 2.
Dude, you sniped my and we're back.
Welcome to part 2.
Hey, we're gonna keep saying this because I think it's worth it. Patreon.
Page, get in the page.
Every single week,
Palpitinch.
there is a new episode. Which one do you want me to talk to? This one?
Talk to all of them.
I will. Every single week, there is a new episode, and they're follow-up letters from other Pennies and Pallers. Sometimes the person who started the conversation, sometimes other people. It's only $5.
Get in the mix, folks.
And look,
Get
I would
in the
love to like
mix.
incentivize you in all these other ways by being like, who knows? Maybe we do live shows. If you're a Patreon person, we're gonna invite you out to this thing, or hey, we added this to it. Maybe
We
we
will-
will.
we
Maybe
will
won't.
do those
We
things.
we can make a million promises and do a few things, and we mean
subject,
them all.
folks. Subject to change.
Exactly.
Wait, is this from Kate? Did Kate make these?
No, I think Emily Cox did.
Emily made these. Emily
Yeah.
or Kate?
Right.
Emily,
Or
I'm going to
Kate.
give Kate credit just because I want to live on her property.
I need this.
I
bet we go there
subject to
someday.
change. Oh, I am. We're going to play Asheville. I would do a live show, live pen pals
What
in
if we
Asheville.
did that? That's another
know
thing.
what?
Who knows? What if we ever did? Be like,
Maybe
hey,
we
if
just
you're in the
do
Patreon,
live.
stick around. We're gonna do one more letter. Everybody else, just wait for
Everyone
us.
else has to leave.
Hey, I don't care.
Remember when you said meet us across the street and people took it? People thought it was real.
I know. I still feel bad about it.
I don't.
Okay, you want to read this letter?
Here we go.
Okay. Hi, pen pals. Yesterday, I had to return my dog Chuck to the rescue group from. I am slowly getting darker and
Yep.
slower as I'm reading.
Go
this.
ahead.
I'd like to start over.
Okay.
Leave it in. Hi, pen pals. Yesterday, I had to return my dog Chuck to the rescue group from whom we adopted him 2.5 years ago. I have an 18-month-old daughter, and Chuck came to me with a bite history. Despite a ton of work in progress, we could no longer provide Chuck with an environment where kids could be safe, and he was in a position to succeed. I drove 3 hours each way to bring Chuck to the rescue group. We listened to a few of your episodes, and you brought me relief during a challenging day. Thank you. I cried so much on the drive that I worked hard to stay hydrated and made a few extra pit stops. So here's my question. What are your travel bathroom strategies? Given the choice, do you go inside or outside? Do you have chain establishments with whom you have built a trusting bathroom relationship? What unforeseen bathroom challenges have you experienced abroad? I wish you well, Michael. I just got whiplash from that letter.
There is a swing happening. We start here, and you are thrown.
You are thrown across the acreage.
Across. You are thrown across the emotional
I know
divide.
we usually work backwards, but I feel like I can't.
I got to get some stuff out of the way. First off, Daniel goes to the Cheesecake Factory. He has a membership there. He flashes his card. They let him use the bathroom whenever he needs to.
Do you know Breckenmeyer? Have you guys ever hung out?
I know
Great
him.
guy.
Yeah.
Great guy. He did something with Subway, and he only agreed to do the deal if they gave him the Subway card.
Forever?
And
Is that forever?
Yes. And they first tried to tell him those don't exist, and he goes, I know they exist. So I'm not doing this unless you give me one. And he was like doing it as a bit, like half joking, but also really wanted one.
Yeah.
And so they gave him one, and he was like, you think it's going to be the coolest thing ever until A, you realize like you're not eating at Subway enough. And B, when you go there with someone else and flash it, and the person who's making $8.50 an hour goes, sir, what is that? And then you feel like you have to like, but if there is a cheesecake card.
Yeah. You know,
first of all, I'd go there now.
You know, I did that
And I would
Chipotle commercial, and they gave me the Chipotle card where you get free Chipotle for a year, and you can get any amount, whatever. So I have that card.
Yeah.
I go to a wedding It's a wedding weekend.
Yeah.
We get in. It's like,
is it unlimited?
Friday.
Whatever you want.
I think it's unlimited, but I think there's like it's sort of like
Chipotle's nice, man.
be chill,
One time,
you know?
Chipotle in Chicago, just that location.
Yeah.
We were doing like this fundraiser for this young woman who had passed away, like for her family. And I just kind of mentioned it to them. I was like, yeah, I was wondering like how much it would cost for chips. Like, we'll donate all the chips and guac. How much do you need?
Oh, that's amazing.
They were the nicest. Now, it could have been that location. I would love to think it's the whole company.
It's probably the people. I bet a lot of it's the people.
Sure. Yeah.
But anyways, there was one night, my sister, myself, Jordan, and we were trying to figure out what to eat for dinner. We just got into town for this wedding. And I go, oh, I got this Chipotle card. Let's go to Chipotle. Because then I was like, I've never tried to use the card. Mm-hmm. And so we
Does
go.
Does it start once you use it? Is that the year? Or had you already ticked off?
I think when you get it. Okay. And I mean, the case it was delivered in and everything is so magical. So I go. It was Al Madrigal. And so I go to Chipotle. They're closing in 15 minutes. There's a little bit of a line.
I almost walked out of here.
Wait, you got to give it the full thing.
Okay.
They're closing in 15 minutes. There's a line, and there's people behind us. And so I go, all right, let's just we have to eat, so let's just hurry up.
Okay,
we know we're getting.
okay.
They're taking orders, and I can tell. I read those. I worked in those positions.
I know you did.
Too,
I know
so
you did. That's why I let you write it out.
I was reading it, and I was like, I think we're fine. Let's go. So
Anytime,
we go in.
If I'm 20 minutes or less, I'm just apologizing.
I know. So I did. I was like, is this okay? I was like, where's the cutoff?
Right.
And they're like, this happens. You could tell they were like,
you and I are like,
this is every.
You
night.
and I are so F2F. Like we would be like, no,
I'll
look at a person. I'll go, no, literally, tell me
if
I'm fucking you right now.
Yeah.
Just
I'll leave.
Just you don't even have to. I know you probably would get fired if you told me to leave. How about just don't say anything and I'll know.
Yeah.
Like that's how you and I.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the vibe was very much like, this is every
They're
night.
like, no, we go till 10.
And at 10, we go close the doors.
Right.
And you're in here and we let you out.
You're
as
in
you
here.
go.
You're in here.
And so I think that was the vibe. So I get up there, we order, we go down the line, we get to the thing, and I did a commercial, so I have this. I was like, and they go, what is it? And I go, I think you just scan it because there's a barcode. I think you just scan it. I was like, and I think it's free Chipotle. And they look at it like, what? And I go, look, I know you have a lot of people in line and you're trying to get out of here. I go, what if I just pay? And they go, no. They go, I believe you. They're like, I haven't seen one of these. And they go, can I just get my manager? And I go,
we're all ready. We're all.
I know.
Now.
So I'm feeling it.
Right.
I feel it even if it was noon and they're like, we're open for 8 more hours.
Right.
I'm still going, oh God. They get the manager. He comes out and he looks at it and he looks at me. He goes, you did a commercial? And I go, yeah. And he goes, I've heard about these. He goes, and I've never seen one. He goes, I can't believe they actually exist. And the employee was like, what should I do? And he goes, just scan it. And you saw like $25 or whatever. And it just goes to zero. And he goes, yeah. He goes, that's what that is. And I just go, yeah. I was like, I did this commercial. I was like, I don't know. I've never used it before. Right. Goes to zero. And, we had free dinner that night. But it's similar. You go, oh, if I were to use this as much as I should use it, I'll die. Of my diet will kill me.
Sure.
But it was crazy to like scan it and go, there we go.
If I could get a Cheesecake Factory one.
Now let's talk about giving dogs away.
Rory,
I feel so bad.
It breaks my heart.
It's so heartbreaking. Especially because there are people that are like, even with the pandemic, like, I got a dog during the pandemic, and then the pandemic, and I was like, I don't want to deal with this dog. I'll just take it right back. And you're like, you're an awful person. This is a scenario that I completely understand because there's no world where your child is not going to come before that dog. And if there is a situation behaviorally where that dog does bite, you're not going to risk the health and well-being and safety of your child.
I know.
Because of the dog. And it sucks
but can I
because
be a little
the dog
mean?
Isn't like evil.
Can I be a little mean with love?
Of course.
18 months old?
Yeah.
Pregnant for 9?
Yeah.
You had 2 years to find this dog a home. Is that mean? We can edit it out if that's too mean.
I don't think it's mean, but here's what I want you to consider.
Can I really quick? Because even when we were talking about going to Kate's place or having our own.
Yeah.
I love fishing.
Yeah.
But I've gotten way more sensitive to animals as I've gotten older.
Yeah.
And so now I don't even like fishing because I don't like hooking something and then suffocating it for a while. Which you think that shouldn't be a hard leap I should have had to get to.
Yeah.
But so I can't help but think of this dog.
Yeah.
I don't want to be mean.
You're
but
not
you
being
had 2 years
You're not
to
being
have
mean.
the dog make friends with a person,
Sure.
visit there a lot,
Yes.
then eventually go there, and now the dog never even realizes it's moved. I mean, it would because they're the best animals in the world,
Sure.
along with almost every other animal. But like,
I have a few things to throw at you.
and I'm not saying he could be like, "Hey, motherfucker, guess what I did for the last 2 years?"
Michael
No. I mean,
Michael doesn't talk like that.
but he could say, "Daniel, that's what I was doing for the last 2 years, and this was. You think if I had another option, I wouldn't have taken it?" So that could very well be the case. And
But here's what I
don't
wanna
know
throw
that
at you.
information. But
Here's what
how much? Wait, really quick.
Yeah.
How much more heartbreaking is it if he's like, "That is what I did for 2 years, and I couldn't find Brutus a home."
Okay, it's Chuck.
I know. But
But even more heartbreaking, what if Michael goes, I lied in the letter. I killed the dog.
Rory, I haven't done this to you in a very long time.
But that's
Someday.
Michael for the Patreon writes and goes, I was bullshitting you guys. I don't even have a kid. Like, Michael, you're
He's
you're a
like, I just
psychopath.
needed to think of something before I
just
asked you about
wanted to write you
bathrooms.
guys a letter.
So I knew that if
I didn't know how to get to bathrooms.
it's something.
I just wanted to get us to bathrooms. Michael, just ask about bathrooms.
That's it,
Dude,
buddy.
you didn't tell me the
That's
dog.
it. One person sent us seeds. All you have to do is ask about bathrooms. You didn't have to send us down this sad ass road about Chuck, aka Brutus.
Yeah. Anyways, my dad died. But what's your favorite restaurant?
And we would run with that letter.
We're like, oh, all right. Well, I like Frosties.
Michael, he probably did spend all that time.
Well, no, this is what I want to throw at you. I don't think you're going, oh, well, we got an 18-month-old daughter, pregnant for 9 months. I think you're sitting there going, oh, this dog has a bite history.
Or maybe
but with a trainer, because I think that's what they said. We did despite a ton of work and progress, because I think your hope is, yes, we have a dog with a bite history, but we don't know that we have that's a bite history. We don't know that can't be changed, or that can be an unlearned reaction. Like maybe there's something in the dog where that isn't a natural instinct, or we can work it out of the dog to where we can live as a happy family. So you want to try that first, which is why I don't think he went pedal to the metal. We got to find this dog a new home. I think it was like, well, no, let's try to make it work with this dog.
Also, now that I'm looking, rescue group.
Yes,
Maybe that means
not the
it's
pound.
living with other dogs, like on an open, like he did find a real farm, like
this is
a
how
real
we got
farm.
our dog. This is how we got our dog.
Charlie?
Yeah. Our Charlie was through a rescue group. So
What's that mean?
it means like, for instance,
I know,
if
but
you're getting the dog or
how's
you're
Charlie
returning it,
living at a rescue group?
pretty well. They are people who are determined to. They love dogs more than any dogs specifically. They love dogs more than anyone. They're going, Daniel, the dog didn't work out with you. We understand it. Let's say you're returning a dog for a similar reason. You're like, I don't want to return the dog.
Right.
I mean, I have to, and there's just nothing you can do about it. You've got to return the dog. They're going, we get that. This dog's gonna get so much love. They won't just give a dog like Charlie. We had to drive to
My heart breaks
Bakersfield,
for Michael, but it breaks for Chuck.
but we had to meet them and meet the dog, because if they met us, they wouldn't necessarily go, yeah, Charlie can go with you. They might have been like, no, you can't take the dog. You have to tell them your living situation. A lot of these groups, you would be required to show video and photos of your living situation. They would ask you questions. You've come home and the dog went to the bathroom in the living room. What is your response to that? Like, I love it because it's these people going, show me that you know how to care for an animal, and this animal isn't just some sort of recreational, it's not just a pet to you. You actually are taking in a member of your family. But
Michael's
I will
probably
say,
upset with me, and
Michael's
I don't blame
not
him,
upset.
but I just
But here's the thing. Your love for Chuck in this situation is why you said those things. And also, I can't sit here and say Michael didn't do those things. Michael might be a piece of shit. I don't know Michael. I don't know him.
You're right.
But what I do know...
Good. You know what, then? We're covered either way.
What I do know is that he's using out of bathrooms without buying goods. And that's worse than the dog
Wait,
thing.
he says that?
No.
Oh, man, I almost railed on this guy.
Michael unknowingly is like,
Because
wait, I think the bills hate me. They concocted stories that I never wrote in the letter.
Write us in again. Let us know. I would love to know the process because it's heartbreaking.
But Michael, also, if you are going to write us again, pick a genre. Don't. You can't work both ends of the spectrum.
You're hitting us with both hands.
Yeah. Just know, and this is for all our listeners, because he's saying rescue group, know that dog Chuck is given the
I would have
best
to assume
everything.
I would have to assume.
And that's why I think Michael had the faith to go, I'll take it back to this group, as opposed 3-hour drive to return this dog means that group gives a shit.
The place.
They give a shit.
He found the place.
Yes. He knows they give a
You're
shit.
So
because
right,
there's,
God,
I guarantee
man,
10
can you imagine
minutes.
if it was a pen pal and you didn't have you to be able to.
You're like, but also it's pen pal, and for some reason you become very Limbaugh. We're like, Daniel's not who he used to be. Daniel's such a different guy now.
Someday, this is what I was going to say to you earlier.
Yeah.
This is what I haven't done to you in a long time. I have a dog story to tell you that I don't think can ever be aired, but I have to tell it to you.
Okay.
And it is. Ugh.
Can I then tell it and tell your secret?
You never would.
Okay.
It's not my secret. It's a story I know.
Okay.
But okay, first I want to go bathroom. But what?
Just out of context. First off, I want to go bathroom. Daniel, then just go to the bathroom. I want to go bathroom is so good. I made the hashtag I want to go bathroom. From now on, when I have to use the bathroom, that's what I'm saying. I want to go bathroom. I want to go bathroom real quick, but we don't need the two. We don't need two. I want to go bathroom. We don't need the two and the. Get those out of there. I want to go bathroom.
I really don't want to cry.
You should.
But
you should.
How is it not like Harry and the Hendersons when you take Chuck?
It is exactly like it. That's why he was dehydrated. He cried that much. He was dehydrated. That's a lot. That's a lot of water coming out of those two.
Do you remember when you watched that for the first time? And he's like, "Get out of here!"
Yeah.
Can't you see? I mean, I hope he didn't.
But he didn't want to. But he. But Chuck is willingly going. The employees of the rescue group are like, he's a very well-behaved dog. He is coming with it. Get out of here, then! Quit coming back.
Be with that's your kind.
And he's like, yeah,
we don't want you. Can't you see?
I want to go with him. Yeah. Also, perspective of the dog, Chuck might be like, I didn't like that house.
God, that's so cute.
We don't know, Chuck. Chuck, if you're listening to this, write us a letter.
Chuck is at the place, and he's like, I could have told these people, do not have a kid.
They're not. They
He's
shouldn't.
telling the other dogs. He's like, that they are just the way they communicate.
Their communication is sour.
bad. I'm not saying they would be bad parents, but they need to grow as much as the child.
Yeah. And here's my thing. If you don't want me to bite the kid, don't cover it in raw meat. They're weird parents. They're weird parents.
The floor is my space. I have tummy time. Why is...
Yeah, I live on my tummy. And you're trying to train this human to be a dog?
But just man, what that must have felt like to leave your dog. Because when dogs die, or cats too, but dogs...
Goodbyes are hard. Goodbyes are hard.
Because they never did anything in your life except love you.
Unconditionally.
Right. And now that's gone.
Yeah.
So to be like, oh, I'm going to...
Have I told the story about our first dog on here? Maple? Have we talked about
Your very
Maple?
first dog as a child?
No, at our house that we currently live in.
Well, I think we touched on it.
We got a dog from Vegas. It was...
that's all you should have known right there.
I think you're supposed to wait. So it had a gambling problem. We waited. You're supposed to wait 6 months or something once the puppy's born.
Yeah.
Till people can adopt the puppies. It was a litter. We adopted one of the puppies. We were like one of the first to get to pick of these dogs, and we were like, oh, this one. We like this one, and seems drawn to us. Got in the car, drive home. We name it. We're hanging out with it. The dog is getting big quickly. I'm working a lot. We have like a little area in the back house where we're kind of like gating the dog in when we have to leave.
Sure.
Our landlord still lives in the back house, so the dog can't just go outside. And when she does, she's like going to the bathroom. She's killing the grass. The very little bit of grass that was there is dead. And Scott's been great about it and being like, yeah, it's fine or whatever. But the dog was going to get too big. And he was also like, I think this dog maybe is going to get too big. And I was the one that was gung-ho about it. And then we realized, like, Jordan was going crazy. I was working a lot. So now she was taking care of a puppy, which we don't know how to do, and a baby, or daughter that's like 2 or something. Yeah. And so it's very overwhelming. And I go, well, then we just have to do the right thing and find another family to take this dog. And now this is not 2.5 years. This is like, maybe 4 months or something, 3 or 4 months. Yeah. But still, that day when that family came to get the dog, Elliot's only 2. This is where I would cry. Elliot's only 2. She watches these 2 other kids come to meet her dog, to take her dog in the car. And I could tell she couldn't fully grasp it or understand it. And I could tell the dog getting in the car, you can read dogs. If you are an open person, you can read what a dog is telling you without words. And I could tell Maple was like aware, I am leaving. Not that I'm coming back, like I'm leaving. I could just feel it. And so drives off, Jordan goes in the house crying. I go in the house, Elliot's confused. I'm thinking about the trauma that I've caused. This is all my fault. I caused all of this. I said, let's get this dog. And Jordan was like, we shouldn't get the dog.
Elliot
I was like, no, let's do it.
Elliot and I have talked about this.
I did all of it. It was all my fault.
Yeah.
I go in, Jordan's crying, and I go, I know this is awful. I know this day is horrible. I was like, but this will be the hardest day. I was like, each day will get easier. I was like, but either way, this is the right thing to do. And also we found a family that can raise this dog and have this dog better than we can.
Sure.
So the dog's life just improved,
right?
Even though today sucks. I know it.
Right. And
I think about it all the time with Ellie and her connection to that dog, because they were so young, and that was a puppy that was like, you're my sister, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then for closure, we got in touch with that family to see if we could come and visit like a few months later, because I was like, I'd like to kind of see their place, see what the situation is. And we go to visit, and, there's a playground in the backyard and there's kids. So Elliot doesn't really care so much about seeing the dog, like Maple again.
Good.
And Maple is now like a dog.
Yeah.
Very big. And, went crazy, tail wagging as soon as she saw us, like could smell us. Dogs are like that. And then we're going to leave. And I go, Elliot, say goodbye to Maple. We're leaving. And she goes, okay. And because this was her dog, and this is a giant, this looks like a bear to her at this point. She walks over and just grabs Maple by the neck and just squeezes her from over, and Maple just lets it happen. Like, I know you. Yeah. Squeezes it. This mom just, the rain coming out of her eyes, where she's like, oh my God. And I'm like, honestly, that means a lot to me for you to now understand what this wasn't us getting rid of a dog. This was a big moment that we had no choice but to do it.
Yeah.
And to see Elliot just go, get over here, and hug the dog. And we left, and I was like, all right, we did the right thing. But it doesn't, doing the right thing doesn't necessarily mean it's the easy thing to do. And I say all that, because that's my give a dog away story. But also, I relate to Michael in a way where you go, it isn't what you want to do, but it is the right thing to do. So in terms of you getting broken up about this, as anyone can and should and probably is right now.
And so was Michael.
Yeah, and for Michael, who had that 3-hour drive home, I will say, one, I love that you could listen to us and that made you feel better. That is why we do what we do.
I'll never forget the guy who saved up episodes to move out of his place.
We do this because talking like this makes us feel better, and if it makes other people feel better, now you know what stand-up comedy is. You feel good that other people feel good, but ultimately, I laugh at Daniel, I laugh at me, I laugh at us. I go home happy. Sure. And you go, oh, other people also felt that way. I go, win-win for everybody. So, Michael, just know you have 2 people here who we get it in the sense that wasn't easy. But it doesn't make it, it doesn't mean doing the right thing is easy. Doing the right thing is sometimes very difficult. In this case, you had to get rid of a family member because you have a daughter. And there's no world where you go, yeah, our daughter, actually, she'll never see out of her right eye again because the dog bit her. And the dog wasn't even being malicious. It was just how it reacts to children. Because certain breeds have reactions to children. That's just how it is.
Or whatever they experienced before you found them.
Yeah. And then your daughter is like, yeah, I can't see out of my right eye because my dad wanted to keep this dog. And you go, oh, I'm giving a very extreme example, but you don't want to have that story.
You're avoiding.
You don't want that story. Right. You don't want that story. And the thing that the payment to avoid that story is emotional heartbreak. It sucks.
That's why you have to be able to ask yourself, did I do the best thing I could do for the situation I was in?
And I would say, Michael, you did, especially because you said rescue group. If you said the pound, I would go, Michael, what the fuck
Even
is your problem?
Even if you said shelter, I would feel...
But the fact that you went to a rescue group means you know for a fact that dog is going to go to a house that makes total sense. And also, that dog will go to a house where this rescue group will go, hey, do you have kids? And
No.
they'll go, yes. And they go, then you can't have this
Right.
dog.
It'll be like some
That's the
retiree
information.
who's
That's
like,
the
it's
data.
just me. My wife passed
Yeah.
away. I just want a dog to walk around Florida with.
Yeah.
And they'll be like,
And the
"You got it."
rescue group will go, and they'll go, oh, but we might hire a trainer. They go, well, and if you were our first person in here, we would go, yeah, you should try that, because that's what someone did try. And because we know that didn't work, we now know the next family can't have kids or be wanting kids.
Yeah.
And that's just the deal.
That's just
And
the
then and then because of it, Chuck ends up with the better situation where, like he says, put in a position to succeed. Chuck is probably fucking eating some dope ass barbecue right now.
I hope so.
I hope so.
What about bathrooms? I mean, Buc-ee's is obviously.
I just always stop in a place and pretend like I'm going to buy something. So fast food.
But you don't have loyalty
And
to
if they-
bathrooms. McDonald's bathroom is always a go-to.
I
You know what
just
I like?
stop.
You know what's a good move? And
Yeah.
I realized this my first tour. Just stop at any hotel. A
Any
nice
hotel. Yes.
You walk in, give them a wave as you
That's
walk
the same.
through.
That's
even
that's
throw out
the
a
move.
good to
Go
see
in
you
the lobby.
again.
Go in the
How
lobby.
are you?
Yeah.
And
Go in
then
the lobby.
just go to the lobby.
I've done the lobby.
It's the
Every
cleanest,
time.
easiest move.
If you're gonna go to a gas station or a fast food place, there's a hotel nearby,
right.
and you just go. Oh, you pop in,
Yeah.
and also if it can be a little bit bigger hotel, the easier it is to get away with it, and also probably the nicer lobby bathroom.
Right. You know what? If you don't want
That's
to
as
lie,
nice as it's gonna
you don't
get.
want to lie, walk in and be like, just got to use the restroom real quick. And then that's not a lie.
You don't even have to say that.
Then you go use the restroom and then you come back out, be like, you know what? Not staying at this hotel.
I hate this hotel.
Yeah, I hate you.
I
and
hate
this
you.
fucking hotel.
I hate your
You
family.
know how far I am away
You
from
have
this
pets?
rescue group?
Do you have pets? Do you have pets?
You know, but Buc-ee's is what they pride themselves on.
The bathrooms?
Yeah, that's their
Of course,
thing.
they
is
know the deal.
bathrooms.
That,
I love
that
when-
and having way too much gas.
when you-
It's like, put it away.
When you go to the
folks.
bathroom, when you go to use a restroom at a
Yeah.
place and it's not a stall, it's an actual like little room door.
Oh, yeah.
That's the,
Oh, my God.
I know.
You could live in there.
You know what else I like?
Put a Murphy bed in there.
When the
Put a kitchenette
it's
and
a
a Murphy bed in there.
towel
That's right.
dispenser, but on the counter and you pull them up. Those always seem to be nicer.
Yeah.
I hate an air dry.
I'm not against an air dry
Why?
environment. It's no waste.
But I've been to places that were so nice that they were actual towels.
And you
And
wash
threw
them.
those back in,
Yeah.
and then they wash. I like that.
I'm into that.
But that's probably a lot
That's
of
the
environment
golf.
too.
That's
right?
that's when you go. You're a guest at someone's country club about to play golf. Those are the
Those are the
bathrooms where
ones.
it's like, you walk in and someone's just like, "Hi, what do you need?"
Have you ever
You're like,
experienced?
I don't know, some cologne. They're like, "Here's 100 colognes."
Have you?
I'm just gonna go play golf. They're like, spritz yourself. Smell good when you get out.
Feel
there.
it.
Yeah.
Have you ever experienced? It's a long, circular towel, and you pull it
Don't even.
down,
Don't.
and then and
It's
it all
disgusting.
hangs, and it's just
It's
rotating
disgusting.
through.
It's so gross. You could say there's undeniable data that is the most hygienically best way to do it, and I go presentation alone.
Just
and I
this
believe you.
drape-
And I believe you.
this
I'm not here to
drape
say
of
the data's
damp,
wrong.
A damp hand curtain.
Get out of here. Get out of here. with
Mike
your
and
filth.
Kathy's good old days, Lake Puckaway. That's what they have there.
Well, that's a Lake Puck away move.
Have you ever been to a place?
Get the puck away from me.
You know, we could walk across.
Is that a
lake.
term in hockey people say?
Yeah.
Get the puck away from me.
Yeah, and when they're afraid to play. Have you ever experienced the cellophane toilet seat, where you push a button and it rotates completely over
It's
a
the
new
same thing,
cellophane
but for your
thing?
butt.
Yeah.
But I'm more forgiving of that because I'm like, well, that's my ass. We're talking about my hands here.
Well, just don't touch below what you've just exposed.
I can't do it. I just can't.
It's like chunk clink, chunk clink.
Even the sound is
You don't
just
like it?
It's just none of it works for
It's
me.
always right next to like sexual stimulators you can buy out of a vending machine.
Exactly, and that's exactly.
Do you remember
right.
when you first?
Yeah.
I was in Indiana.
Those
I was
pictures
like
were
12 years
very
old. I bought
arousing.
a condom. I had no idea.
Those pictures were arousing.
with
75
the
cents.
thing?
You had to put quarters in the slots, and then you turn it.
Yeah.
That's when life was good. That's when it was good.
Bowling alley in Rochelle, T-Birds. They still have those.
Leave it at that, ladies and gentlemen.
Michael, man, we just went on a ride, dude. Sorry, I got super sensitive about Chuck as I read more and talked to Rory.
That's
It
because
made
he
me
loves your
realize
dog. He loves your
how
dog.
much you probably worked so hard to do the right thing by this dog, and I believe that you did it. If you ever get any updates on Chuck, will you let us know?
Pics.
Because I'm invested in this.
Daniel wants to adopt the dog, is what he's getting at.
I don't.
So.
I couldn't. but I just want to know he's happy or she. All right. Thank you so much. We wish you well. Sincerely, your pen pals, Daniel Van Kirk
and Rory Scovel. I'll do Kate's letter first.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't have it right now. They haven't even gone there.
No, I'm already there. The illusion.